Coming in, chiming in with another video. We're basically gonna look at what I like to call a budget team that basically you could probably go after or grab these guys and see if they help you. Rule number one, I'm not a fan. I'm just be totally honest, I'm not a fan of the Real Reeves just based off his height and his speed. I believe his awareness is like one of the top in the game for a player. But this Darrelle Revis is not really worth it unless you honestly can run a cover 2 scheme and stop everything, or a cover 3 scheme and stop everything, which I highly doubt people can do with the aggressive catch in the game. So now, depends on what you're looking for. A press corner. Let's say right now you want a top press corner in the game. Unfortunately, guys, you may not have the coins to buy them. Rondé Barber, Jason Verrett. Rogers Cromartie doesn't fit the press scheme. When Rogers Cromartie is in my lineup, I tend to press everybody and then individually bag him off or reset so he doesn't press. His press isn't very high, but he can sometimes get his hands on a receiver and slow him down. I think Antero Rowe's pretty good at putting his hands on people, but like I said, these cards are pretty high, guys. So, you know, this is for the budget guys who are trying their best to get up there with the top guys. We're gonna take a look at one of the guys who I like to call, you know, the low budget press corner. You see a couple of videos. He was my starter for a minute. Steve Smith is great at it, but Jimmy Smith, a great press corner. Great. Jimmy Smith has everything you need in a press corner if you look at him. Strength 72, which means he outranks most of the fast receivers in the game and top receivers in the game, and he's 6'2". His height basically makes him a monster out there. So Jimmy Smith you can go after. He does his best to press the receiver. He keeps him off balance. He helps you out. Like, I put him on the outside. Has very good stamina, which is one thing you want in a corner because everybody is running hurry up offense or trying to get back out on the field really fast. And this is the number one thing I want you to look at: press. He's putting his hands on receivers and he's knocking them all over the field. We'll take a look at some of my other guys out there really quick. Look at this press. 98. Look at that press. Look at the press. Just look at the press. The closest guy to him who outranks him is Aqib Talib. You see that? He's basically up there with the top guys in press. It's just his speed. Now, what I want you to see is another guy who I like to put out there. This guy is only 40K. So that right there just, you know, helps you out a lot. That's 40K for a top press corner. That could be your number 1 or your number 2. Now I'm going to go and look at another guy who I also believe is pretty good. No, not him. But you see right here, Marcus Peters. Same exact thing. 93 press, 94 speed, and he's 6 foot. Even. He's 6 feet even, guys. So now let's take a look at him and compare him to other top corners. He ranks up there with Charlie Woodson out there. Take a look at his stats, his style. Woodson's 300K. This guy's out here for 50K, 55K. You may be able to find him cheaper, get him on your team, throw some shots at him. Also, if you don't know, Marcus Peters also has a lower rated card that actually does pretty good. Let me see if we can get that up there really quick. But the reason I'm showing you this is because most of these corners are very cheap and very good at what they do. So we could basically come out, you know, Marcus Peters, you know, they have the 88. Oh, so I'm guessing. Let me take a look really quick. Oh, he's 83. That's why. It's a gold card. I wouldn't advise you. Yeah, I honestly would. I would actually. He's gonna get beat for the simple fact of his base card being gold, but at the same time, this Marcus Peters actually does the job as a. If you play the quarters defense, where let's say your safety, you could put him in as your second safety. second free safety. And this guy comes in that quarters package, or you can do the substitution and he comes in. What happens, this guy comes in and he's that fifth cornerback out there, which then takes the safety out. Because a lot of you guys don't know that quarters defense, that's a safety. And that's where a lot of people are getting beat, because that's your starting safety. And your starting safety 9 times out of 10 is not a great cover guy, which tends to leave us in that spot right there where we're always getting beat by like drags and slants. But still, then again, if I look at him and take a closer look at him, his press is up there with some of the top guys also. 91. He's pretty much doing a pretty good job, but he's a gold corner. And I'm just saying, do this if you're really trying to budget yourself and win some games, or you want to do a little bit of something to help yourself out, save a lot of cash, because this really saves a lot of cake right there. He's only like 3K, so that's pretty good jump right there for you guys to get. Yeah, I got that Reeves on my team, but I never use him. That's another thing. Like, if you guys have like players on your team that you don't use, put them on the block and see if you can get rid of them. If you take a look at mine, my items in my binder is outrageous. I have no idea why. I just don't know. This is my first year doing MUT. I honestly don't know how to clear my binder, and I'm a hoarder. I'm just pack rat, getting my pack rat on. God. But back to what I was saying about budget corners. Now we're gonna take a look at another budget corner. So right there, I just helped you bolster your secondary for 40, 50. That's 90K. You got 2 top tier, 90K. You just bought yourself 2 top tier corners. And those 2 guys you're going to plaster on your outside. Now, do I think Stephon Gilmore is good enough to put in there? It depends. If he's going to be a guy who you just basically have out there to stop those drags going across the field, yes, he's great. But another thing about that is, if you notice those drags going across the field, you have to rub the first one that you see. I'd always rub that first drag to like hold him off, because Stephon Gilmore is a pretty good corner. His awareness is very low. But the one thing you always want to see about a corner is agility. Agility is like a top thing with a corner. And Stephon is 6'1", so his agility is kind of off, but due to his speed, his man coverage, he's going to stick to that guy. He's going to stick to him very well. So that right there is 3 corners that I just showed you, and you just spent altogether 105K on these guys. That's 105K you just spent to get 3 top tier, well, not top tier, but budget corners to keep you in the game against top flight players. David Amerson is another one. I like David Amerson because he's unknown, he's easy to test, and he loves zone, and he can catch. People will test David Amerson just for the simple fact he's out there. I've played against this guy in my last video. You'll see David Amerson comes up with a nice end zone pick on me. I tested him. His 6'1" frame gives him those animations in jump ball situations, and as you see right there, the jump is great. His jumping ability is amazing and out the gym. Now, as 4 corners I just showed you, and you just spent all around, said 105 with David Amerson in there. That is about 117, I believe, 117K. That's a pretty good thing. This guy was pretty good when I first started off. I think this guy brought me all the way up to at least all pro. And I had no idea why he was getting burnt when I got an all pro until I went and looked at his speed, and I'm like, oh, that's why. But his zone coverage was amazing, and that's why he was able to stay on my team for so long. But back to what I was saying. We have Jimmy Smith. We have Marcus Peters. We have the gold Marcus Peters, who's a give and take player, depending on what you want to do with him. Then we have David Amerson and Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is a give and take also. But those other corners, depending on what you want to do out there, I just gave you 4 corners who can actually hold you over for a very long time. And this is another guy. But the biggest problem with Desmond Trufant, he can't catch. He cannot catch. But as a cover man, he is outrageously good. Amazing even. Zone coverage, excel, Press coverage, he's not going to be the best in. But this is where that situation comes up where I told you I individually bag guys off. I have the 92 rated Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and I bag him off. You understand me? I bag Rodgers-Cromartie off. Why? Because I'm not trying to take that chance of Rodgers-Cromartie getting beat deep, which probably won't happen. But at the same time, I don't want him to get beat across the field. Rodgers-Cromartie's animations are because he's so athletic, so tall, and able to move with receivers. So he's able to come up and snag the ball from a lot of guys. So now we have Desmond Trufant also. Trey Waynes is another good one. His press is not amazing, but it's pretty good for a guy you're going to have out there for that price. He should be able to get you in games, keep you in games, and the fact that he's so fast and he's actually pretty tall, 6 feet. That's like the cutoff point, 6 foot. These guys right here are going to be the corners that you go after to basically keep you in the game against top tier people. Brandon Jones is also another one. I like Brandon Jones for the simple fact the card says it best. Best hops. Now, 100 jumping ability, which means he can go up against Calvin Johnson and sometimes win some of those battles. He can win a lot of those battles. Then everybody's looking at me, well, Trail, what if I want to press all day? There you go right here. If you want to press all day, these are some of the guys I go after. I never really picked this guy. I didn't go after him because I was just based off of speed. I didn't really care about your press ability or your ability to press because when I first started, I never pressed. I was so afraid of pressing because I didn't want to get beat deep over the top. So we're going to compare his press. He's better than Charles Woodson at press, but he's slower. He's 6'2" also. He's a point lower than Rondé Barber at press coverage, but he's taller than Rondé, which means you're going to get a lot of more of those jump ball situations in your favor with Charles Tillman. Aqib Talib, he's the same exact thing with Aqib. He's less than Aqib at everything, but he's still going to be one of those corners that you go after just to get your hands on people and chuck them out the way. Patrick Peterson at the same thing. You see everything he's outran him at. But like I said, we're looking at press. We're looking at the press ability of this guy. You notice that? He's up there with top tier corners and he's at 89. Which is pretty good for a card in that position. And the Pat P, I don't know about Patrick Peterson. I don't think he's a budget yet. I don't think he's dropped low enough to become a budget. I'm not sure on that rating. But if you look, these are the 3 corners right here I was telling you about at the top. So let's say you go out and buy these guys right now. 40K, 50K, and Charles Tillman right now should be going, let's go check this price, about 30K. So altogether, you just spent 80K for 3 top tier corners who can come out and put their hands, not top tier. I keep saying top tier. I'm thinking I'm looking at the elites. These guys are elites, but they are going to be like low to mid-range budget corners who get their hands on people and keep you in the game. That's all you want to do. If you can divert a person on maybe 3rd to 4th down, get inside them, chuck them off, because 9 times out of 10 on 3rd and 4th down, if you're coming out, you're looking for that first cut route. So let's say this guy is going to do something like a C route on both sides. What I tend to do, I come out in a man. Now, I press one side, and I make sure that the other side is guarded by either a purple zone. Now, in that purple zone, I'm in the quarters defense. I slide my linebacker up a little bit so that when he does come out in that purple zone, guess what he's doing? He's running to the left side to cover that other C route, and I'm shooting to the other side to catch that C route on the right side. So now he has the pick. Okay, can I go somewhere else? Yeah, he probably can go somewhere else. But because you have that slot man doing a press, which may be Charles Tillman or Marcus Peters, that slot man has shoved the other receiver. So by the time all that goes on and has happened, he's probably rolling out now. So once he starts rolling out, if you have a spy, you just click R3 and chase him down. If you look at any of my videos, you'll probably see how that works and how that comes about. It's a pretty useful tool to use against people because it slows them down and stops them a lot. Like, people just don't know what to do. They every time something goes wrong, they panic. So if you give me 1 second, I'm gonna go check my handy MUT Rank app, which really helps us out. I really like MUT Rank, MUTRank.com, because you can actually go after the corners that you like. Now, oh man, they got some nice guys. Jason Cabo, all rookie team. But okay, we're gonna take a look at maybe the rank. We're gonna click the ranker on MUTRank.com, and we're gonna go for press coverage. It's just something that I want to look at and show you guys how it works out and give you the whole nine on it. It's a basic thing that I use sometimes when I'm trying to look for guys that I really want on my team. The press coverage is good, but at the same time, I do press, but I don't press. So I don't know. Press is something that I use sparingly because online you don't really have to press people. Now, I'm going to give you the rankings on press. The number one press corner in the game, Jimmy Smith. Now you can go on MUTRank.com and check this. The number 5, Marcus Peters, the 95. Now, we're going to go all the way down. Jimmy Smith is ranked number 1 in press. So he'd be a great man-to-man corner. And the number 21 is actually the 84 overall ranked Jimmy Smith. The number 22, like I said, Charles Tillman. Number 23, the 90 rated Trey Waynes. Number 26, the new Stephon Gilmore. Number 34, Marcus Peters, the 88. That's pretty good if you go back and look at it. And then number 43, the 83, Marcus Peters. So right there, the 3 corners I showed you are actually in the top 50 of corners that do the press. That's a pretty good rating if you think about it. But next time I'm gonna give you guys a little breakdown on, those were just a couple of budget corners that I gave you. Oh wow, this video really went over. But I'll probably try to break down receivers and everything using MUT Rank and show you guys how that works out. I'll catch you next time.